Getting over 400 rejections to my CV was one of the best things that ever happened to me. You see, at the age of 16, I knew I wanted to become an architect. I studied so much that I got myself into university. That was such a difficult time for me because some years prior, I had developed a serious hip condition that had stopped me from even getting out of my bed. And that was the year where my life had changed. I had now started to be able to walk again, and to now get into university was like a miracle from heaven. When I got into university, I put all my energies into becoming an architect. You see, prior to that, all of my teachers had told me that, Laith, you're not really going to amount to much. And in class, you're kind of talking too much. So I didn't have any A-levels. I struggled to get GCSE grades. And it meant that when I got into university, I was so shocked for myself. But when I got into university, I put all my energies into it. And I graduated with a first-class degree. My mum was shocked, my family was shocked, but I wanted to be an architect. So when I got out, I was ready to get in. I was ready to start designing the buildings of my dreams. But little did I know that the years while I was at university, that the recession had hit the economy. The construction industry had been hit the worst. And for me, when I actually went out to send out CVs, I remember sitting in my front room and looking at my last rejection. And at this point, I felt so deflated, so frustrated. I said, I must have sent about 100 CVs. I began to count them one after the other. 100, kept going, 200, kept going, 300. I hit about 400 and something CVs sent out and 400 rejections because most of it was no responses. I felt so deflated. I said I had to try something new. So I was forced to do something different. I was forced to take the skills that I was learning in design and see, are there any other things I can do in design? And I stumbled upon a gentleman by the name of Don Norman. He's the godfather of what is called user experience design. And I began to become so excited by this new field that I began to study everything about UX design. You see, UX design is about taking the customer's goals and the business goals and designing it into apps and websites. And this was the new path that I was going to journey down. And I realized I still couldn't get a job. So I thought, let me work for myself. So I started to work for myself, and I realized that I could work for my friends, and I got friends to give me jobs. And as I began to use what I was learning myself, and I was able to design websites and apps, and slowly I was able to build a portfolio of clients that got me better clients along the way. I saw a new opportunity for myself. I began to start making money, but the thing that happens when you start making money is that sometimes if you lose sight of what you're trying to do, you want to make more money and more money and more money. And I thought, you know what, now let me try and set up a business. So I had a business partner who was going to try and work with me. And when we worked together to set up this business, I realized that he was the person to go and get more clients, but I was the person to do the work. But I really lost sight. I thought, you know what, I can get clients too. He was meant to do his job and I was meant to do mine. But as he started going out doing that, I was starting to do work and trying to do clients. And before you knew it, I was actually losing the work, one after the other after the other. I wasn't able to service the clients very well, and I wasn't able to do my work to the highest standards, which meant that every single person that I was working with was slowly starting to get a substandard quality of work. I began to lose clients along the way, and eventually I had no clients in my business, and I lost money, and I wasn't able to provide for my family. You see, during the times of my business, my wife had got pregnant, not only one time, not only 2 times, but 3 times. Hallelujah for the children, but when you ain't got no money to provide for them, I ended up having to move out of the home I was in into 1 bedroom in my mother-in-law's house. But you see, family, by the time the 3rd child came, it meant that none of us could fit within that 1 bedroom. My wife said to me, you know what, we've got to try something different. Let's go to the council and see if they have any properties. And I remember sitting into the council building, feeling so deflated, and the council gentleman that was speaking to me said to me, you are technically regarded as homeless based upon 4 counts. You see, those words hit me like a ton of bricks. How could I be homeless? I just had an office in the Shard in London Bridge. I was making up to 6 figures a month, and now I had no money. You know, sometimes as men, depending upon what you go through in life, when you hit some kind of challenges, depression, anxiety, I felt frustrated. I felt like a shame to my wife. Now I'm in this one bedroom and it can't even fit me and my family. I remember going home after that incident with my wife, sitting down on the edge of my bed, hands on my face, wondering, how do we get out of this situation? And my wife said to me, Laith, in your business, you tried to do PPC, SEO, marketing, design. You did too much. But the thing that started you was learning the skills of user experience design. She said to me, Laith, why don't you just focus on the thing that you're the most valuable at? Because it's that one thing that started you is the one thing that can get you out of this rut. The words of my wife were just life-giving. She helped me to focus my energies on the number one thing I was good at, because it was the number one thing that I was good at that was the thing that was giving me the most value when I went into the marketplace. So I doubled down on the thing that I was good at, reintroduced myself as a UX design expert and consultant, started to hustle and try to get into new businesses. I began to get contract after contract because I specialized in my one skill. I got out of 30 grand debt within the space of 6 months. I began to work with new clients. And since that point, I've worked with clients like Nestle and Discovery and Eurosport and many, many others. You see, the words of my wife were so valuable. She said to me, focus on the thing that you are good at. And I believe right here in this room, every single person in here has something they are good at. Something that if they were to introduce that into the marketplace and just know how to monetize it, you can actually change your life. You see, the words of my wife, I would say it to every single person here today. You see, when you find a good woman, you find a good thing. Isn't that true, brother? And when I found the woman of my dreams, she helped me to find how I can use my dream to help so many others. You see, in the words of Albert Einstein, he says this: try not to become a man or a woman of success, but become a man or a woman of value. And if you understand how valuable you are, that each and every person in this room has an intrinsic and distinct value that nobody else can touch. Even twins have individual things that make them unique. So I want to say to every single person in here, let your light so shine so that men may see your good works. And today and going forward, they will want to take your value and use it to do great things in the future. Thank you very much.